republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Previous board minutes from July 28th.
See any problem with it?
Everybody okay with them? Is
Make a motion, we approve.
there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Public comment? Okay. Guess there's none of that. And appointments, we have a closed session. We'll do that at 9:30. Now we'll go into consent agenda. Everybody look that over?
Two nice donations there.
Yeah.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. 1.5 years that Tammy Klinsky put in.
Yep. 1.5.
Thank her for that, please. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Action items. Consider approving a resolution 2620 to approve a certified certificate of final exception for SAP 028-599-101, the Oakland Bridge project constructed by Minowa Construction, total contract $615,234.68. Brian.
Yeah, so this is the bridge reconstruction on Oakland Drive. It actually made the cover of the annual report for 2015. So the original contract was $629,999.99, and the work certified is $615,234.68. So Minowa did a really good job on the project. Everything turned out really well. I will say there was some minor flood damage adjacent to this bridge when the June 2nd rain hit, where they rode over top with some water. But that was outside this project. That was just a little bit of gravel that went off the surface of the roadway. So, but otherwise, everything turned out really good down there. Everything's been established for vegetation and ready to close it out.
Motion to approve.
I got a motion. There's a second.
Saved a little money, nice.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? I just wanted to say that they did a really nice job. That's down in my district. And it stood that flood pretty good.
A clear span helps, I'm sure,
Yeah.
instead of a box culvert.
Yeah, it's nice having this wider bridge too, that the old one was narrow, and the farmers out there would take the signage off at the edge of the bridge all the time, so that way they can get the farm equipment over, and now the bridge is wider, so the signs are staying up. And
So was this, I'm just curious, was this picture taken in early spring or
this picture was,
late winter or?
I'm really not.
I mean, I see snow, so.
That's added in for aesthetics.
Yep, I did not take the picture, so I don't know if it was taken last fall or if it
That
was
had to
taken
have been
early
one of the
spring.
last snows though, because this was,
Yeah, that wasn't done in, yeah,
I've had to, I don't know when we got our last snow, but that's probably when this picture was taken. because-
good picture.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It was last week.
All right, we did that one, right? We're all done?
No.
No, we got
Gotta
to
vote on it.
Let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Consider approving airport lease agreements with Ryan Kerr and the Red Barons.
Yep, so this is airport lease agreements for three full hangars plus one of the half hangars. So Ryan Kerr would be a new plane out the airport. So it's a new tenant, new flyer for the airport. So we have all of his document in, and that'll be once these two are done, or once these two leases are approved, all the units facing on the south side of the hangar southwest side will be rented out. So we have that approval for Ryan Kerr, and then the Red Baron Flyers, they want 2 T-hanger units and the half units. So Andy's over there right now. He has the signed agreement, and then we'll have the check here at the county today as well. So after this, there will be 2 units left to rent out. We have 4 or 5 people on the waiting list. 2 of them are very interested. One of them has a plane. Well, there's more than 2 that are very interested, but one for sure has a plane. Another one's looking at either adding a plane or getting a plane here. So very well could get those last 2 filled up here in the next few weeks.
Be quick. Then they're all rented.
That would be all of them rented if that's the
Motion
case,
to
so.
approve.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. A second?
Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion?
So does that mean that the front row of the old hangars are empty?
Once everyone gets their stuff out, then that front, everything except for the individual, the big building out there on the far north end would be, those tenants would all be in this new building. And then they can start getting their stuff moved over, and we can, assuming that we get the answers that we need from the FAA, work on getting the land acquired or getting the hangars acquired, and then we can get them torn down, so.
So that's a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, once your planes are moved over, the one from Wakan, that plane is still there, but gonna be out of there in the next.
Yeah, it's leaving days.
Yeah, so within a couple weeks, all those hangars will probably be empty.
So are we still gonna try to keep that one big hangar? Old
Yes,
hangar, big-
yeah, there's 3 planes in that, and we actually don't have space for all 3 of the planes in the new unit. The FAA is telling us that, nothing is showing us at this point that hangar is going to need to be ripped out.
But the other ones will have to go?
Yep, yeah, the issue with the big one is that it is north of the end of the runway.
Yeah.
So that, that's not an obstruction from that way, and the obstruction, if it is with the new flight procedure, would probably involve putting a light back on the roof of that hangar, so that way it's, planes when they come in at night, they can see there's a hangar there. Besides for that, that'll be out of the way for all the taxiing.
Perfect.
Okay, just got a vote. Everybody got everything taken care of? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same, good. So, yeah, Brian wanted to know if we wanted to have a ribbon cutting.
Got an email asking if we're gonna have a ribbon cutting for the new T-hanger unit. So I forwarded on to Commissioner Myrie asking, does the county want to have a ribbon cutting ceremony for the hangar or not? And, we spoke a little bit and said, maybe the county board can have that discussion on if you have a ribbon cutting for it. We don't build new T-hangers out there at the airport often. This is the first county one. Is it something that's worth doing a ribbon cutting for or not?
I think we should.
Give some people something to complain about.
We can go to the dollar store and get ribbon.
True.
I can cut out a big pair of scissors out of cardboard. Good to go.
We gotta cut corners here.
I think it'd be cooler to have 2 planes go poof,
Oh,
cut
yeah.
that ribbon.
You wanna cut the ribbon with a plane?
That's a hard no, Andy?
The answer we're looking for is yes or no, and then we'll figure out.
Yeah, I think that's what you're looking for.
after that.
Go ahead.
I think that's
You don't
what
have to be too creative,
What's
that's
your
fine.
opinion, Andy? Should we have a ribbon
I
cutting?
mean, that's up to the board, I guess. It's, I don't know how well attended it would be. I mean, I know you get the people who are renting the hangars probably, but,
Well, if
Well,
these 2 nice ladies right here came,
there you go.
We'll let the airport committee, I don't have a problem. You guys want to do one, that's fine.
Up to you guys.
It's up to you, Kurt.
yeah, we'll do one.
And And then, yeah, one other thing, just so you know, for the status of Dundas Airport, the hangar complete. We're hoping the electrical work is completed today. I haven't got an update for a couple days. They were telling us August 1st. It's already beyond August 1st now, but I'm hoping to have the electrical completed today. I got a phone call yesterday afternoon saying they're hoping to get it paved today for the connection from the hangar onto the taxi lane. So if that's done, then it's just doing that final building inspection to make sure everything's good to go. There'll be a little bit of turf establishment done later on this week as well. But hopefully by the time we get to the end of this week, we'll have the keys and be ready to start moving in. So that is the plan. We're looking at trying to get a punch list inspection done on Thursday, so. But it's
Great.
getting really close.
So that should wrap it up.
It'll be wrapping up that project, yes.
How's the courtesy car working out?
Courtesy car, so the county does not, being that we're not licensed to lease a vehicle. No, we're not a dealer, we're not we don't rent vehicles, so we can't lease a vehicle, so. I know that Sheila has talked to Jake Dixon about looking at drafting up a new agreement where we might need to sell the vehicle with a buyback option, so it actually transfers ownership to the city and comes back to the county. There's been some conversations.
So we're not going to have it? Is that?
Oh,
I'm
no,
confused.
we have the vehicle.
The vehicle would just get sold to the city for $1.
Okay.
Why don't we just sell the vehicle to the city,
Well, that's what we're talking about.
but
doing
not
it.
for $1?
Well, you need to.
I mean, we no
gets it
longer
back.
own it. If we give it,
He would get it back then. It's just a,
it's very complicated.
Yeah.
And we can just sell it and keep
Hopefully.
it, and then whatever that value is at that.
Keep it simple.
it'll be all right. We'll talk about it at committee.
Otherwise, yeah, hope we can get it out there soon. Okay.
You might want to stay seated there. If he's going to go on to discussion items.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, moving on, we're gonna do coordinator updates first.
Yeah, so one of the things that we had this last Wednesday was Commissioner Myrie, Commissioner Wright, Brian and myself met with 765 transmission line representatives from Dairyland. They had some technical questions. They had a bunch of engineers looking at future projects in the southern half of Houston County, wanted to know about any airport expansions, airport runway shifts, anything of that nature. They are still trying to plan out what that route would look like. If that gets approved and for it to come through the southern half of the county. There's a lot of conversation on possibly burying the line opposed to having it high wire across. They did argue that that wasn't necessarily efficient for electrical and how electrical flows underground. It didn't seem like it was necessarily, it was because of the rock or the ground. It was just how electricity flows underground and the amount of electricity that is in this line, it wouldn't be efficient. So having it high rise would be better in their opinion. I can kind of let Brian talk a little bit about some of the specifics and the questions that were asked about the airport and also crossing some county highways and then we did talk about township roads as well. But
So basically, this was just a meeting on logistics for
this was
permitting uses to
Yeah.
use for roads and.
it was basically fact finding on their part.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it was, it's like if we're gonna, for whatever reason, change the runway degrees, 5 degrees, and then there's a power line out there, how does that affect it in the future? you
Yep,
know? And
I
so,
get it.
Tell them the airport's gonna run for 10 miles, so they probably should put it in Iowa. Just a thought.
Yeah, so that discussion, we kind of, we talked about the airport, they asked if there's any airport projects, expansion, realignment type stuff that could impact the power lines. Before they met with us, they did have a meeting with the FAA, the initial FAA screening meeting. So the transmission line, they're looking at being in the same line that the existing 161 kilovolt line runs on. At that, it's just under 3 miles from the airport. Usually airports start looking at the impact within 3 miles becomes that critical area. That meeting with the FAA showed that as long as they keep the towers 200 feet or under, which is the proposed height of those towers, and at the present location, it looks like the towers will not need to have any lighting on those or the power line that goes out there. So they're saying no impact to the airport. Even if the airport did get realigned in a different alignment, or even extended a little bit to make it a little bit longer, that should not impact the power lines with where they're at. So they will have additional meetings and analysis with the FAA, but at this point, it looks like the airport will not impact them.
The towers will be lit up, won't they?
They will not need to be lit.
I thought they had to be for being 200 feet.
They don't need to be lit anything special for the airport. They didn't say anything about lighting being required for anything else, but I don't know if they will need to be at.
I wonder if there's not a separate approach light that they need to have on things for.
I'm just thinking of cell towers.
You're talking about the towers, the transmission?
Yeah.
Not the airport.
That's.
Yeah, but the lighting they did talk about that there would not be lighting on the towers associated with the airport, or they wouldn't need to be, so. Now, whether or not there would be other lighting on them, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know all the specifics on what the requirements are for total height once you exceed, cell towers, a lot of those, you're right there, they are lit at the top. I'm not sure if they have this type of line are not required to be flashing light. So we had a discussion with the airport. We also talked about the Public Utility Commission. Well, I guess, I don't know if you want to summarize or want me to keep going on.
Yeah, you can.
The Public Utility Commission, what they're anticipating having there, they plan on filing their route permit to the PUC this fall. At that time, they say there will be an environmental impact statement prepared and provided to the county. There will be a summary of impacts to the roadways and the airport that'll be prepared. For that, the Public Utility Commission will host some public hearings or meetings where people can comment on that to the PUC. They said they briefly, very, very briefly considered, some other potential location or options, but realistically, they're not required to look at alternate routes. So they pretty much immediately went to, we want to keep it on the existing 161 kilovolt power line corridor. So that's essentially been their sole focus on the location where that line is anticipated to be. So that's where all their focus has been. That line crosses 8 county roadways, or the county roadways 8 times, and 10 township roads. They will be providing a list to the county of what those roadways are, where those crossings are. That has not been given to the county yet. Just knowing where that existing line is, we have some idea, but they will providing something to us at some point. They anticipate a decision from the PUC in Q1 of 2028. They would be looking to get a permit from the county for the road crossings in 2029. And then we got into discussions on the transmission line structures and the road impacts. So the structures, there would be lattice steel towers, typical height 150 to 200 feet tall, 1,200 to 1,500 foot spacing. Footprints are generally 40 foot by 40 foot to 60 foot by 60 foot. For the footing, easements or right-of-way widths for their corridor, 250 foot. The tower width at the very top is 140 foot wide, and no guide wires would be associated with those towers. At that spacing, it amounts to 130+ structures across the width of the county if you went straight across the county in a straight line. So if that line, zigzags through the county, if they need to have additional towers because of the hills going up and down, to keep their height, it could end up being, 150 to 200 towers in the county. That would be what I would envision. So each tower, they have, concrete that's going to be needed underneath the base of those towers. They're going to have, a lot of overweight, overwidth load coming through. They say they do hire a consultant to do some analysis of the route to see which corners they can make the turns on. Some of the intersections they might need to widen out so they can make radiuses. They'll look at the structural capacity of the roadways on how roads are impacted from the capacity and damage standpoint. Their goal, or they said they will leave the roads in the same condition as what they're currently in.
Well, that'll be held to account, right? I mean, there's gonna be pictures taken of the road before and then after they're.
Yep, they said they usually video log the roadways in advance. The county, we get video logs every couple of years. For something like this, if it's a big project, we might, go out either with
I
our
would
staff
go out there and do that.
or law enforcement, have them drive their roads with their cameras on and take that. With our analysis that we get every 2 years from the state, they actually go through and do profiles where we can see the rutting on the road, more than just what you see from pictures. We can see every single crack in that roadway. We can see every single little rut. We get really good information from the state. They do that every 2 years. So we got our video log stuff in the summer of 2025, closer to the fall of 25. So we'll have that again in 27, 29. We just kind of keep that on that continuous cycle.
Would that be kind of all documented on that road use agreement for, those documenting on all that? That would be all previous and ready to go for that?
Yep. So they plan on putting stuff together. So that's about the recap of that meeting. For additional comment on the road use agreement, I have got samples from other counties that have done large power projects, whether it's wind farms, solar farms, not transmission line to this magnitude, but a lot of those developments have that similar type of utility poles going down right-of-way corridors to serve those. They might be 161 kilovolt lines, not 760. But so those counties have provided examples of what they've had to see what those utility companies have provided to the county. Their recommendation is that we have a road use agreement that allows them to not need to get overweight and overdimension permits for every load going across the system, because that takes a lot of time for us to do. And we can figure out what dollar amount would be associated with permitting and infrastructure type of damage or improvements, and we kind of bundle all this stuff up in front, and then give the contractor some leeway and flexibility, require that they do some maintenance, but at the same time, the county has a lot of control over what happens, and we get protected from any damage. So I'll keep working on that agreement. It's gonna be a lot of, back and forth and review and make sure we have everything done the right way. So we have time for that. We're still, 3 years out on permitting. But this was kind of just an initial kickoff meeting. There's gonna be probably a lot of coordination back and forth over the years. At this point, it's just gearing up to make sure everything goes on the right path.
Is there any way we can put a bond on it?
Absolutely, I believe we can. Yes.
Should do that. We're not gonna get stuffed.
And then some of the counties, they've looked at trying to tie in some of the township roads into that same or similar agreement. So it's not just the county, some townships, and so there's going to be probably some coordination that way that we'll want to have. So
I would think
county alone, we can't require stuff across township roads, but
we could be a
they're gonna-
partner to help the townships. Yeah.
Well, I'm have no problem with that. Townships are gonna wanna do what they're gonna do, and we'll just work with them. That's all we can do.
Well, we gotta do what we gotta do, but
Yeah.
if the townships needs help with this agreement, or whatever and to document road damage and all that stuff, we'd help with that.
Wouldn't hurt a bit. Documentation's big.
Anything else on that front?
I think you did a great job explaining that, so, yeah, appreciate the notes
So
on it.
can I comment about my sheet that I just gave you here,
It's a good time to do it.
rather than move on? What I gave you is a copy of, and Brian, I can send this to you too, the utility proposals, when they come through the Minnesota PUC. I think there's been a lot of questions about, what can we do? What can townships do? And so I just tried to outline for you that, some of the facts in looking at the state laws that public utility providers have the legal access rights for acquiring the local easements to install infrastructure for major utility expansions. And then there is a list of, basically what the counties and townships don't have the power to ban the utility lines, but they do have legal authority to regulate how the installation occurs. And that's what Brian is talking about. So there's 4 areas, including the recovery of expenses incurred by local government due to the project. So I just want to lay this out there because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there as far as, can we do something? We had a resolution. We also had a response to that resolution that should be shared as well. And then also that these are in the statutes, the restoration mandates required to restore any of the impacted roads that we talked about. He's talking about the 8 county roads and 10 township roads. And then also it includes, to make sure that they are restored to their original or improved conditions. So yeah, if we can have the videos of, what some of the issues are now, that would probably, or before they build out, that's probably going to help us document that even more so. And also, let's see, the other things in attending that meeting, one of the things that is a major question, and they put out FAQs for residents and for all those that are interested in what's going on. They were going to add why they cannot do this underground, because that is a concern. I don't know if it's somewhat efficiency, but also just to navigate that voltage underneath ground in that type of trench and then get back in to fix an issue is basically what I'm hearing that they're saying, that they have to go overhead because they cannot trench this through. They'd have to have multiple connections. We also asked the question about whether or not they had plans for new switching station areas and
Substations.
well, substation and switching station, as I understand it. So they might have to remodel some of those facilities, it sounds like, but I was just curious if they had a plan for like twice as many or something, and it doesn't sound like they do. They might need some connection, but yeah, I think, it's, I look at it as our responsibility to share the facts with people that are asking on what we can and cannot do and what we have a right to do. So that's this information. And so it goes. And it's also, it's not, as Brian mentioned, some of the years that we're looking at, it's not, this is not a done deal. I think we also just got some information, right, from the Gopher Project in the mail. Most residents did that are affected by it. I don't know if that went out to everybody in the county or not.
Same thing we got today.
Yeah.
This thing here?
So with more details on it. Hopefully we've charged Brian and Brent to keep working with them on the technical aspect of it and bring it back us that information.
One thing I kind of found interesting was that one of the questions that was brought up about alternate routes is they're going through a lot of time and energy and effort trying to find technical analysis to build their routes. And one of the questions that was asked is like, do you have an alternate route you're building in the background just in case this doesn't happen? Because it kind of seems like you're putting all your eggs into one basket. And they said last year the law changed that they used to have to provide an alternate route, but last year the law changed, so they're not going to bother with the alternate route. So that's the reason why. So
We'll probably need one.
Yeah, usually it always used to be like three options. You'd have a do nothing option, and then you'd have, multiple, current corridor plus a alternate location, so you'd have like three options. In this case, it was, yeah.
yeah, just it seems like a lot of time and staff effort on their part to put together a line that may or may not get approved.
Well, it's a long ways before it's gonna happen, so.
For sure,
Got
yeah.
a lot of time to work on it.
Thanks, Brian.
We got a bunch of townships that are getting on board now with the resolution. All right, that's conclude yours, Brent, or you got more?
Just a note, this also last Wednesday, I attended that AMC Modernization Committee. We talked about the $90 million that was earmarked by the state of Minnesota to modernize financial assistance software. It was very interesting. We did come up with a list of priorities, 10 priorities. I'll email those out to commissioners so you kind of see what those priorities are. And they had a very good wide range of people that were involved, from county commissioners, county administrators, IT professionals, human services folks from counties all the way from Hennepin County down to Houston County. So it was really well represented, and so we had that meeting and kind of starting that process to see if we can't get some of our software programs.
Are they gonna go outside of the state to do this, to get the software developed?
That's unseen at this moment, but we are.
But we just don't want another DMV,
Yeah.
debacle.
Yeah, and Matt Hilgart's kind of spearheading this.
He knows that.
So he's, I have kind of trust in him, and he's kind of guiding the group best way to make this happen, so.
What's the timeline for that? What's their proposed timeline?
Right now, there's really not a proposed timeline. There's earmarked money that goes up, I believe, 2030, but outside of that, it is $90 million over the next 3 years, and trying to utilize that money to make these efficiencies.
Is that gonna be enough?
I doubtful. Well, the issue is that the state legislation says they don't want an actual rewrite or a new. They want to modernize the one that we have. So that's where the $90 million comes into play, is
Put a lipstick on a pig.
trying to modernize what we have, not build from the ground up and redo it, so.
Hopefully that's possible.
Not at all.
So what's that?
I just told
Nothing.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, sounds good. So, yeah, other than that, that's it.
You're all done?
Yes,
I guess we talked about the meeting that I was at last week, so I guess I don't have much else except for National Night Out tonight in Caledonia. Make sure you come out.
National Night Out across Houston County. Not just Caledonia.
Oka.
It's countywide.
It's national.
Oh, national.
Nationwide.
Nationwide, okay.
If you just think Houston County is its own little nation, then yes.
Okay.
The nation of, wow.
Carry on.
Good job. No, I didn't have any meetings either this last week, and phone was pretty quiet, so nice week.
All right, Kurt?
ECB next week, and following the 11th, the 13th, we got the certification of the voting from the 11th, right? That's about it. National Night Out.
Rick?
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I haven't had any meetings. There was no planning commission meetings here in June or July, so. I got a SEMCAC meeting, an orientation meeting in Rushford this Friday, so. With Jen, I believe her name is. So that's all I got.
Cindy?
Oh, let's see, I had 4 meetings since we last met. Community health, we met with our community group last Tuesday and caught up on all the work that's going on with that and a lot of the sessions that we have. Salco meeting, I had a strategic planning session and new board members joined us at that meeting. Darylin meeting, of course, that you heard about. And then last week, I also was involved in the Board of Water and Soil Resources Envisioning One Watershed meeting that was held, so you'll probably hear more about that in the future. And that's about it.
I do have one more thing too. Right after this meeting, we'll be talking about the cycle race with La Crescent with Commissioner Schultz, Commissioner Johnson.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, we got that meeting.
They're coming?
Yeah, too.
Yep, they'll be here. I told them 10:30 because I didn't know how long this meeting would take, so, but
It'll be close.
it'll be close. Yep.
Great.
Okay. Well, any closing public comment? Well, somebody want to make a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Yeah, motion and second. Go into closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I guess we're in the closed session, 9:36.
Are you open?
Okay,
Don?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. We are coming out of closed session to where we discussed attorney-client privilege and discussion of some confidential matters, including a potential lawsuit and talking about lawsuit litigation and strategy.
okay.
Eric made the motion to come out. Kurt seconded.
9:21.
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, guys. Are we done?
Gov?
I guess so. Did you have this bicycle or bike thing?
Yep, that'll be after the meeting at
So we
10:30, so we can close the
Can't
meeting.
close this one out?
Yep.
I've got one comment, quick. So while you were in closed session, I had a call from a township that heard from Commissioner Myrie to call me to get a copy of our resolution that we did for the transmission line, which I said that we're happy to send it over. But they were under the impression that they could just sign on to it. And I said it would be their decision if they would want to pass their own resolution as a guide. So I also read from them the information that Cindy provided, the first bullet point and the fourth bullet point, that especially that counties and townships do not have the power to ban utility lines, but they do have legal authority to regulate how the installation occurs to protect local infrastructure and public safety. So I am a bit concerned that there's some confusion out there around that, because she said that she was asked to talk to some other townships about it too, and she wanted to understand it before doing so.
That's why I had her call you.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that, the county isn't giving any misleading information, because that will just be unhelpful. So I said that Brent and I could certainly forward on that resolution, and they're welcome to do with it what they wish. And I think she understands now, which is great, but we just want to make sure that we're not giving out any confusing information.
I don't know who that would be doing that, but I've had Spring Grove, they called me and I just told them to call you or get the resolution from Brent.
So the resolution is part of it, but I would also send the response to the resolution if people need to see it, because that's kind of key. They didn't really respond, from Darylin or MISO on the questions that we had, and that was way back in February. But I think we should all be on the same page as a board and sharing the same information. So if we, I would also mention that we should, if they have any questions, they can direct those to the board.
So is it the townships that are in the vicinity of this?
Black Hammer, they called Spring Grove.
Yes,
Luke King from Winnebago, they called. Donnie, Todd Holyrood and Donnie Ingwaldson called. They want to look at the resolution and then decide how they want to go forward.
So why are they calling? Because where have they heard
Because they
about it?
wanted to know information. They heard that there was the resolution, and so they called me. I'm their commissioner in their district.
Okay.
I got one thing when we're done with that.
Well, this person today said that you called them. So,
Yes, I called Pam Snodgrass to see if their township was interested in doing a resolution.
Is that Jefferson?
Yeah. So I didn't tell anybody that we were gonna win the case. I'm not that dumb. I've been on the board for 22 years, Allison, of the township, and I know where the rules are, and I didn't go tell people that they were gonna win this case. That would be really ridiculous.
Win what case?
This Maribel thing, there's no way we're gonna probably win that, but we gotta try.
What case? We have no
What
case.
case, though?
Well, we don't have a case yet.
What's,
Are we pending to
is
do
there a case
something?
pending, or?
I don't know. That's what the townships are calling. And I didn't know what to tell them. I don't have the answers.
I think we should discuss this as a board and decide what we tell and how we talk to the townships. Maybe we should talk to the Township Association instead of individual townships. Not all of them probably want to
We're
know.
talking to Township Association. It's the townships that are in the right of way of this Maribel line. They're the ones that are interested. So,
Well, they're
we let
gonna
them-
find out there's nothing they can do, so.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
You think,
Just because somebody writes something in the paper says that we can't stop nothing, that don't mean nothing.
well, the state laws do.
Yeah, they have no jurisdiction.
Well, I'm not saying nothing. I don't know nothing about it, but I've had townships call and I told them to call Allison to do what they want to do and they can do whatever they want. I mean, we have no control over any townships.
Well, all we've done so far is, just do the resolution.
That's what I told them.
I just don't want to, as a county board, advise them differently, advise them in the wrong direction, that there is something that they can do when we know legally, according to the state laws, they can't.
Right.
We can't either. Not in that way. There's other ways that we have private groups that can sue the PUC, they can postpone it. You know, there's other things that they can do to possibly get around, but we can't just say, we're gonna stop it.
and so yesterday, we did send a resolution out to 4 townships. Allison, can you help me out which townships they were?
yes, it was, Winnebago, Wilmington,
Black Hammer and Spring Grove.
yes.
Yeah. And so I just sent the resolution in there, and said, basically summarized that the following adoption by our board, we submitted the resolution to the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission. While there are opportunities for local governments and public to provide comments throughout the process, the PUC ultimately has authority to approve or deny the proposed 765 kV transmission line. The local governments don't have the authority to prevent the project from moving forward if it is approved by the PUC, but did give them the language of our resolution, saying that we did send that off to the PUC, saying that we did
That
not
part's
support-
fine, yep.
Can do that.
So, and I did not email a response, but I can definitely follow up with them with a response too, so.
I think it's part of the, because otherwise it's hanging out there as just, this is what we sent, but they don't know what the response was, and that's part of the answer. I told you guys, was it last week or so, there was, that Dr. Johnson, no relation, probably.
No.
Ben Johnson, and John Puglisa, and other people that have asked us to use our county resources
visited.
to sue.
We haven't.
We're still in the meeting.
Yeah, I guess we haven't adjourned, but
So,
About a couple minutes.
these things come up, but we need to know how to handle them as a board, not individually.
Right.
And we just want to make sure part of the confusion is there isn't just a resolution on there that they can just sign on to. They
No.
would actually have to create their own, which they
Right.
can certainly use the same language if they want to.
Right.
But they'd have to put their own name in there. And so
Yeah,
it sounds like that's another
yeah,
part that was confusing.
Others-
I think she's got it, she understands now, which is good.
okay.
But just if anyone reaches out to you, just clarifying, you know.
Okay.
One more thing and we can close it out. You got this too from Paul Fricky.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna fill you guys in. So this is what I got from Paul Fricky. Commissioner Zender, Paul Fricky here. I wanted to share with you what Mayville Township grader experienced last Saturday. On another road, he actually got stopped by 6 bicyclists that said they are planning to race next Saturday and basically didn't want him in the way. I'd like to see that myself, but anyway. I expect you can imagine how well that sits with me. I sent this to Eric Johnson and the sheriff. Sheriff asked if we could find out more info, but I can't find anything on the web. I just wanted you to know why Mayville Township started the bike event permit policy because our residents do not enjoy this type of activity on our roads. Thank you for your time. There's a 3-second video coming from the grader of a bike going by him. So is Mayville Township part of the race?
They have I think he said they were gonna do a small section of their road, so they had to get a permit from them.
Right. So, obviously Paul is not happy and upset. I just wanted you all to be aware that, you know, that problem is out there. So,
Yep.
that's all I got.
It's never going away.
Yes,
You guys are gonna have the meeting.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they wouldn't,
So-
they were running the grader off the road or what was going on?
Oh, they were passing the grader.
They passed the grader.
He stopped, talked to somebody, said that, well, nice if nobody's on this road when,
When we're racing.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I won't get into that. That's not for public record. So,
Maybe forget this is a farming community?
all right, you got another meeting.
Yep. So
Done?
that's, yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, we're adjourned.